There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of that ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down. Blow, my bully boys, blow.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. Hands to the side, harpoon and fought her when she died below.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Line was cut, the whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not on greed. He belonged to the whaleman's creed, she took that ship into.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The Wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew, and all.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Good evening, peace, love, and I'm sorry, I'm so used to my Twitch announcement. Good afternoon. This is the Caleb Hyles Show here on the Caleb Hyles YouTube channel. I hope my mic is coming through both speakers. Oh my goodness, I hope it's coming through both. Anyways, Unfiltered with Anna Pantsu, everybody. Let's have some fun today. Oh my gosh, I screwed it up. I was like, Peace, Love, and Gaming. That's my Twitch channel, by the way. Caleb Hyles Music is my Twitch channel. Go feel free to look it up. And I do, but Peace, Love, and Gaming is the team I'm a part of on Twitch. And I just forgot. I forgot. So, yes. Why is everyone asking who is Anna? Y'all know who Anna is. I also like how Anna is what's the word? Is a moderator in the chat. Also, apparently my vocals are in the left only, and I don't know what to do about it. It's never done this before. I never had this problem. And then all of a sudden, it just was like, hey, it's going to be a problem now. I've never had it, and I don't know how to fix it. I could switch over to my my webcam mic, but that's garbage. So hello everybody, left ears. Nice to see you all. Nice to see everybody in their left ear. Maybe somebody can help me. Oh my gosh, hold on. Zella just messaged me. It's like, hey Caleb, you're only coming in through the left ear. It's so great. Everyone's like trying to help me. They're like, hey, you're in the one ear. Set input source in stream software to mono. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. I can do this. If y'all believe in me, I can do this. Set audio input. Yep, right there. Stereo. Mono. Huh? Oh, it requires a restart. Bull crap. I can't restart it. Wait, yes I can. Everyone believe. We're going to restart everything. 10 seconds. Count it down. Count it down, mods. Here we go. 10 seconds. All right. I think we're back. We back? Yeah, we back. Let me know when you see me. Let me know when you hear me at least. And we should be all in one ear now. With the one ear gang right now, right? One ear gang. Also, I just found in the advanced audio settings a button you can click to downmix to mono. Lessons learned, everybody. Lessons learned. I know, HD, right? This is crazy. All right, let's not waste any more time. I'm gonna hop over to on screen here so y'all can see me. Don't tell me my camera is bugging out. I do so much to prep. Anna's waiting in a Discord call. She could tell you I was messing with the camera. I was messing with the mic. I was trying to get this all right. And then I start up the dang thing. And then it looks like there's a miniature sun in my room. But this was not what it was. This was not the case. And now it is. Let me mess around with my settings again. Because everything just decided to reset. The gain needs to come down a little bit. I don't need a sun in here. Thank you. My frames per second. No, that is not. Nope. I did not purchase this webcam to have these issues. Thank you. That ain't 30. That ain't 30. How y'all doing? Oh my gosh, it's so dark now. It's so dark. It's unbelievably dark. Now it looks like I live in a cave. I am Batman. Okay, I guess. All right, here we go. I think I figured it out, guys. There we go. Pretty. There we go. Let there be light. My gosh. That took forever. I am sorry for the mess of the start of the stream. I try to do this right for y'all. I'm gonna pop out the chat. Move it over here. By the way, hello mods in the chat. Hello Ryan. Hello John. Good to see you. Cammy, great to see you as well. So yes, if you've never been to a Caleb Hyles show, I'm sorry, I haven't done one all year. I don't think I've done one since the start of the new year. Obviously, I was a bit held back because of the past week's events here in Texas. We had a huge, massive snowstorm. Power was out for everybody. People still have power out. People still have water, not running water. We are fortunate. We were without power for about 36 hours. But power came back on. Thank goodness. And we never lost water, but the whole boil water notice thing, everyone's under that. So that was a bit of a stutter, but I've been busy. I've been very busy. Been doing a lot of different things and been very excited for the response in the videos. Released a video today. It was, what did I release today? I have a lot of videos ready to go, so I just, on any given week, I'll hit the button on the one I want to release, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm Still Standing. Yes, I'm Still Standing by Elton John from the movie Sing. So go and check that one out if you haven't yet. I'm really proud of that cover. Trey Watson was on it for the mixing and was also on it for the instrumental, and he just absolutely slayed it. It was phenomenal. So, yes, on the Caleb Hyles Show, I do a bunch of different segments, and it's a really fun time for me just to explore my interests, chat with y'all, see what y'all are up to, and give you guys a little bit of insight into what's going on in my world. A5 in the I'm Still Standing. Nice. Thank you. That was hard. That was like, that's why I didn't do it. Someone in the comments of I'm Still Standing was saying he should have done that the whole time. He should have done the super high I'm Still Standing the entire song. And I was like, that wouldn't have made a difference. If I did it the whole song, it wouldn't have had the same impact, right? It wouldn't have had that same oomph that it did when it hit. And also my voice would have absolutely just given out. It would have just, it just would have, that would have been that. But I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. It's actually performing way, way better than I thought it would. So I'm going to move on this quick, move into this next segment briefly. As you can see up in the top right here, it's mail time. This is one of my segments I do. When I do an unfiltered segment, that's usually the majority of the stream. I don't do a whole bunch of other things. But I also, y'all didn't get to see the stinger really. Here's some of the other ones I do. I might do this one later, but sometimes I'll do this segment. Oh, I love that stinger. It's so cool. I'll do the coverage segment where I listen to, or I'll put up a video over here of some of my favorite covers of the past couple weeks. Encouraging review. This is another one. I will watch a video of an amateur vocal cover artist or a cover artist in general, and we'll give them some encouragement. It's not meant to be the super critiquing time. It's just meant to be this encouraging thing to tell them to keep going, keep trying. You did a great job on the cover. But this time, before we hop right into Unfiltered, we are going to do mail time. Now, I haven't set up a P.O. box yet or anything like that, so no one can send me anything. I intend to do that at some point in time, but life's been kind of nutty. And thank you for the Ruby love. Appreciate that. So yeah, the layouts, by the way, that is 100% Monse Studios. Go check her out on Twitter, on Instagram, Monse Studios. They are phenomenal at what they do. Just like give them some love, because this is all them. It's all them, not me at all them. So instead of doing P.O. boxes, I'm just going to show you guys something I'm proud of that I got recently. Okay. I got a McDonald's, I got one of the coveted McDonald's Happy Meals with Pikachu on it, because I'm still a kid at heart. That's me. So, and I put the ears on the top too. You punch out the ears. I put them on the top. So this isn't really mail. I just went out and got this. And then I can show y'all. This is the card box you can make that it comes with. Or some of them come with it. And you can build this little card box for the 25th anniversary. And you can keep the cards you got. Look at that. So here are the cards I got. Oh, golly. It's so friggin' pog. I know, right? So I got a Trico. There is it right there. I got a Cyndaquil and a Mudkip. What generation is this? Which region and gen is the Trico, Mudkip, and Cyndaquil? Isn't that like the second one? Isn't that second? Or is it third? I'm thinking it's second. I'm betting on second. Gen 3? Am I wrong? Oh, it's Gen... No, wait. I'm seeing 2, though. People are saying Gen 3. All right, I'll take the third. I'll take third, guys. So okay, I got Mudkip, and then I got a holographic Turtwig, and then this guy Froakie and Tepig, and then I got the latest one, got Litten, and then I got a holographic Trico. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it looks better back here. It looks better back here. That's pretty. So yeah, miniature sun minion. Is that Tepig? Is Jonathan Young making fun of me? Did he I see people pointing him out. Did he say something? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Caleb Hyles cracking open a pack of Pokemon cards. That's me. You know me. Dude, hold up. I have to tell y'all. Next on Mail Time. So there's this local card shop I have, right? Or they're a local retro game shop. Founded Electronics. Shout out to Founded Electronics over in Denton. But I went there and they have cards too. And I had to get it because I never got it when I was a kid. I desperately wanted this card, but it was a promo card that I couldn't get. But I was able to get it there. I got the Ancient Mew card from the movie. The freaking actual Ancient Mew card right there, baby. You see that shine? You see that shimmer? I was able to get this one. I never had it. So thrilled to have it. It's like, it's just cool to have. And then, shout out to my man Nate. Nate wants to battle. Doing his, he has a whole Pokemon card channel. Shout out to him because he recently broke a box of an original set of Jungle Booster Packs. Like Generation 1 Jungle Booster Packs. And he was selling them. And he usually opens up the cards on stream, but I requested, and he was willing to grant me that request, to send me the unopened pack. So he sent me the unopened pack. I got my name right here, the security seal, and this is an original freaking Jungle Booster Pack from 1999. I already opened it, but this is the original thing. I put it back in when I opened it because I was like, this is a freaking relic, and I'm so happy to have it. It's so crazy how nostalgia works, man. Were our parents like this? Were they nostalgic too? I'm looking over like I'm talking to somebody. Were they as nostalgic as this, or are we like is millennials the most nostalgic generation ever? I'm curious. That's really existential for what we're talking about, but those are things on my mind. I also have Pokemon cards like quite literally all around me. There's like that's my desk right there, separated into different stacks, league battle decks. I've been playing the online game a good bit too. I'm not very good, but I have a great time, and I think that's all that matters, right? John says no, as in no, we're not the most nostalgic, or no, our parents aren't like that. One of those two. Do I have Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I do. I just don't have a ton of them. I got into it briefly. Oh, I am so glad Kara brought me water, because I totally ran out of my seltzer water. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let me message Anna real quick. About to go into the segment. There we go. I typed it right. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Today we are here with the wonderful Anna Pantsu, who has agreed to do a segment called Unfiltered. For those who were here a couple months ago, I did one of these with Cammy Cat, who is also a moderator in the chat, and it was really, really fun. It was really chill, really illuminating. So if you're here as a fan of Anna Pantsu, you're in for a treat. And if as a lot of people are saying, who is Anna Pantsu? If you don't know who she is, you're going to learn who she is, and it's going to be a great time. So with all that being said, let me hop over with the stinger, and let me unmute myself, or unmute and deafen everything over here on this end. Hello, Anna. Can you hear me?
Oh my God, you scared me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I can hear you.
Oh my gosh. Can y'all hear Anna? Okay, I know that's going to be like a 10-second delay, but figured I would ask so everyone feels included. I've already asked you, Anna, but I figured I'd ask you on stream. How are you doing?
What if I said I was doing really bad? How would you feel?
I'd probably, we've hung out before, you know,
what if I said I'm going through a crisis? What would you do?
I would say, well, I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can. If you want to talk about it later, we can. You know, we don't have to talk about it on stream, but I am worried. That's what I would say. I'd say we can totally talk about it later. So yeah, I care for you as a friend as well as a colleague.
So many things about each other. Look at this.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
doing very well. Thank
everyone's
you.
Everyone's like, oh no, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm very good.
Okay, Anna. So I told you before we hopped on stream what this was, and I illuminated it here for others. But just to reiterate for your sake, if there's any question that you feel steps over a line, or you just either don't know the answer to, or you're not comfortable with answering, just say no thanks. I'll no comment. And we'll move right along into the next things, because I got a little document here of questions, and if they spin off into other questions and things like that, that's kind of the point. It's meant to be this, curious time where everyone gets to learn more about you and learn more about the process, what it is to do this online. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with like a little softball question that you've probably answered about 100 times, and anybody who makes online content has answered 100 times. But that's why I like it. What's your favorite cover that you've ever done, Anna?
Okay. Well, I love all the covers I've done for different reasons. I don't think any covers are bad, not because I think that highly of myself, but because they document how good I could have been in the moment that it was created. However, any Road to El Dorado song is up there. They're great. I love them.
Dude, they are absolute bangers, the frickin' Road to El Dorado songs.
They really are.
They're really John showed me the light. I don't know if John's in the chat still, but he can tell you we have had many conversations about El Dorado, and I think it's a very just meh movie. But the music's great. I have acquiesced. I've given him that. Like, yes, the music's amazing. There he goes. Okay, John's like, finally. Yes, it's great. It was great. Finally, someone who understands. And y'all did such a good job with it too. Like the both of y'all were stellar in that track. Okay, cool. Well then, something I asked Cammie last time around, and I'll ask you because it was an interesting dialogue that came out of it. But what's a part of your voice that is something that you feel like you would want to work on more, like something you feel like you want to develop more?
For me, that would be, it's my head voice, and there's a specific range of notes. It's from D, it's D5 to A5. My head voice right there, it's real weak, real wobbly, and I would love to.
Is that your passaggio?
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like just throw a random term out there, but I just recently started taking vocal lessons last year, and the teacher was like, the passaggio is this very specific area of like 4 to 5 notes that every vocalist really struggles with. And it's different for everybody. And it's called in Italian, the passaggio. And I was like, oh, that's a fun word. I'm just going to remember that one forever. So mine's like somewhere in the A's, and like there's this weird passage, and I feel it. I feel those like 4 notes, and I'm like, everything sucks here. Everything's hard in this area, and it's real shaky, and I don't like it. So that very specific area, what were the notes again?
D5 to A5.
Dang, that's so high. That's like insanely high up there. And that's in just like a belty head voice?
No, just like a pretty like soft head voice. I don't have the belting. It's just the like nice supported, sounds very pretty but not belted.
Yeah, but how high? What was that? The highest note on Prince Ali? That the one with the key change, like near the end. What was that note?
I think that was an A5.
That sounded pretty belty.
That was belty. I don't know why. I can belt them okay, but when it's just head voice, I don't know why. It's tricky.
Okay. Well, then on the other flip side of the coin of that question, what's the favorite, your most developed part you would call the favorite part of your voice?
Ooh, I like my lower range. I like my lower range a lot.
Nice. No, I actually resonate with that because I know I'm known for singing really high, but when I'm in this baritone range, that's when I'm most comfortable, most in control, feel very, I want to develop that more, but I got my shtick, so to speak, by like singing high. So I was like, frick, now I got to like sing way out of my range all the time. And I'm never going to get attention for this baritone voice. So, but cool. Yeah. No, I mean, some of the lower notes I've heard on your covers, they're just that got rich sound, like a velvet texture almost. And it's like, oh, that's just, oh, those are such nice sequences. So here's a fun question that doesn't involve your voice directly, but what's something that you were wanting to be growing up, but learned later that you really didn't want to do?
I want to be when I was younger, huh? I know there was a portion of time where I really wanted to do graphic design, purely because my sister did it, and I just really wanted to do what my sister did. I don't know why.
All right, that's very sweet.
Guess what? Turns out you need some level of artistic ability to do that. Crazy, I know. Blew my mind to find that out.
Who would have thunk? Okay, so graphic design is something you were like, I really want to do that. That was me in game design. Like, I was like, man, I want to make video games. And then it became very apparent, well, Caleb, those involve numbers, and you got to be good with numbers. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not doing that. And then moved along from that. But with that being said, flip side of that coin, how did then the singing come about? How then did singing become the career path, or like how did it come about?
I'm very lucky because my parents, they've always, with all of the children, they've always been very much we're going to find what you like to do as a child and may have a natural talent for, and we're going to encourage you to pursue that if you enjoy it and have fun with that. Mine was music. They told me many of times I would bop around as a 2-3-year-old singing Shania Twain.
All right.
Don't know why.
There you go. Shania Twain. What I did. Old school country.
I know. They continued to encourage me as I got older, and I just kind of kept doing it. It was the one consistent that has been in my life since I was a child.
Okay. So was this the plan all along, like for this to be the thing, or was that more of an attempt for your parents to like develop an interest, so it's just a passion you have and you love? But was there like I stumbled into YouTube career or a singing career, I really did. Is that what happened for you, or was that kind of a pathway that was open?
It probably started as like we want you to find a hobby. So it's, with good intentions of just like, you can do whatever you want, but at least you'll always have something you enjoy and something that you feel you're good at, things like that. But it was, once I found it, I stuck to it. So it very much became I want to make this my life. I want to make this a career if possible. And YouTube never came about that way. And as I got older, I sort of, you lean away from that because you hear all these horror stories about how hard it is to make it in the industry, and it's blood, sweat, and tears. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting it. But no, like it's always been a dream to be able to do music. For a career, for a job.
Wow. Well, and I feel you on that, because I did a cabaret in 2017 on Off-Broadway, and I got to just sing a couple songs, which was fun. It was like the low intensity thing, but there were like a bunch of Broadway singers there doing their own songs too. So there was like 8 of them. And I asked them flatly, I was like, so like, how hard is this? And they were like, it is so lonely. That was like the first thing they said, by the way. I asked them how hard it was, and it was, we are very lonely, because they commit a lot of their life to it, and they love it. And it is blood, sweat, and tears. They don't see family all the time. They're every day. It's all about the music. It's all about the love of the theater, and they love it. And I got a phone call in 2014 when all the viral things were happening on my end, and I was talking to people, and they were asking if you were interested in Broadway. And so I was talking to some people, and they were like, well, do you love the theater, Caleb? And I was like, yeah, I love the theater. And they were like, no. Do you love the theater? And I was like, I guess. And they were like, well, that's my point. It's like, people are out here 7 days a week, 3 shows a night, and they're killing it, and they're slaying it. And frankly, everybody I met at that cabaret, by the way, could play the main character on any Broadway play, period. They're all so unbelievably good. Like, it's ridiculous how skilled they are. So I didn't know I would ever have a career in singing. But it's wonderful to have it. I'm glad I have it, but I kind of feel you on like, I didn't necessarily want that blood, sweat, and tears path, because it was just a lot. It has been a lot, but it's gotten easier over the years. And speaking of moving into another question that's more YouTube related, more YouTube centric question. So if I'm looking over here, I'm reading from my questions. I'm just staring at the screen. I know that on YouTube in particular, the algorithm can often feel like a vicious ruler, unfair in its judgment and unwise in its decisions. And we know that live streams can sometimes hurt our viewership or algorithms or things like that for whatever reason. And we also know that it has the potential to create lasting connections with our audiences and our supporters. So as a creator that streams regularly, weekly for you, how do you balance these two? And do you think it matters to balance them?
No idea until just now that the algorithm is affected by the live streams. Did not know that was a thing. Learning new things. Balancing, my rule has always been, whether it's live streams or just covers, content, whatever, 50% of it has to be content that I just want to do for fun, and 50% of it has to be content that is requested and will contribute to the quote-unquote growth of my channel. 99% of the time, they kind of align with each other, and it's not like they're very far skewed. But as long as I'm not forcing myself consistently to do something I might not want to do, we're good. I'm fine. And that's very, very, very rarely ever the case.
Well, it's interesting because I've heard a lot from colleagues, you have the 3 in terms of videos for the month, like 3 for them, 1 for me. Hear some people say, I'm always doing things for the viewer. It doesn't matter. 100% is going to go to the people who are interested, or like I'm just making content strictly that's going to get views. And then you have, I haven't heard the 50-50 strategy before, like 50 of it's going to be something that I do for fun. And then 50% is going to be stuff that I know that's going to satisfy an audience that wants this kind of thing. Because for a while there, and this isn't written down, but like I often would look at your channel and I would be like, man, Anna can just do no wrong. Like there's nothing she can do. She released a Barbie song and it got like several hundred. That's freaking Barbie. Like what audience is like, what vein does this exist in? Did you find where the people who are interested in the Barbies, like they've been sitting in the quiet and the cold of the YouTube corners, like when's the new Barbie cover coming out? I need it. And then it comes out from you. And then people like fall in love with it. Like, how do you find hits like that? Was that a for fun cover, or was that a for the audience cover?
It was a bit of both. What I've discovered is my audience, and I'm very lucky in this vein, because I know a lot of people will make content and then something that they're maybe not super passionate about ends up going viral. And unless they continue posting that type of content, they won't get as much engagement. For me, it's always been, okay, I really like hearing old
Oh no, we're having some microphone issues.
Songs with new
Oh, I'm messaging her. Hold on.
on them, or I really indulge in
Everyone try to decipher what she's saying.
Hello.
It was like what.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna switch to my phone. 1 minute.
Your phone.
Hello.
Whoa. Your mic quality just like shot up.
Oh, really? I'm on my phone. That's funny.
Dang.
Okay.
Wow. Well, hello, Anna on the phone.
Hello.
I didn't hear any of the answer to that, by the way.
Okay.
It started and it's been kind of like, it'll cut off like your first word and then it would just give everything else and it was fine. But that time it didn't. It just kept choppy. So yes, please, whatever you were just saying, please repeat.
Well, would you kindly remind me of the question?
I was curious. I was asking particularly about the Barbie cover. Like, what was that? Was that a for fun cover, or was that a cover that was for an audience, and then it was a general statement about developing an audience? You mentioned like some people get caught making a cover or making a trend, and then people only want that song from them. And you were saying something that's really special about your audience, and then that's when it cut.
Oh yes. Sorry. Yeah. So I noticed that my audience typically are very into what I tend to be into, which is such a blessing. But with the Barbie cover, it was very much just, wow, maybe I'll start going through a list of songs that I really liked as a preteen or a teenager or even a kid and start doing my takes on them. And that's what I've been doing for the past little while. And that has been working out quite well.
Dang. Yeah, that and the frickin' like, where those like, because first of all, if you had asked me, hey, I'm going to make Fountains of Wayne, a song from Fountains of Wayne work, I would have not believed you, because I was like, my dad loved Fountains of Wayne. That's his favorite band, and he was fans of them before Stacy's Mom came out. And so when Stacy's Mom blew up, he was like, oh my gosh, Fountains of Wayne's huge now. People love them. But I never would have thought that someone can just manifest this idea of Stacy's dad and it perform really well. Like that's not just like an audience of like, that's no one's looking for Stacy's dad, right? Like no one's looking that up necessarily, but by creating the idea and putting it out in the world in front of a subscriber base and being that plugged in to like, oh, my audience will appreciate this and enjoy this and like this. Like, are you actively thinking that when thinking of an idea like that, or is it really just that this is for fun and I want to do it?
Stacy's dad was a fever dream.
All right.
Stacy's dad had no rhyme or reason. It was just I really liked the Postmodern Jukebox cover.
Okay.
And nothing wrong with Stacy's Mom either. Think it's a great song.
Yeah,
but I'd never really heard a version of it with Stacy's dad done in a way that I would want to sing. So a couple of friends and I got a call one night and we got her done and we wrote the lyrics and that was that.
So that was a collaborative effort, not a solo effort.
Yeah, not completely. I can't take the credit for that, genius.
Dang, that is wow. So it came out of like just a fun conversation amongst friends, just a goofy idea, and it came out and shared it, and people really enjoyed it clearly.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. Well then, let's transition to another YouTube question. It's sort of a rough transition on this one. You obviously recently hit 1 million subscribers, so congratulations. You know, it's just a fun number. It's like this milestone. I was calling my family when it happened. I was live streaming. It's just this cool thing that YouTube back in the day really lauded and put on a pedestal as this thing you're aiming for. You get the new plaque, all this cool celebration and ceremony that comes with it. With that all being said, how do you feel about subscriber numbers? Do you feel like they are appropriately desired, or do you feel like they're overly desired? Where do you think they fall in importance when it comes to running a YouTube channel?
I think that subscribers, though very greatly appreciated, this is not me saying I am not grateful for everything, but I think people tend to put a lot of emphasis on subscribers and maybe numbers in general. Because I've had a lot of conversations with people, especially like newer people who are just getting into the platform, and they'll get so discouraged over a video not doing well and really take that personally. And I don't think that's obviously not good for anybody. And I think that us as a community, we definitely put a lot on numbers. And I also think subscribers don't necessarily equate to the success of how well your videos do.
Yeah, I think that's true. I would agree with that. I would also say the analytics prove that. You have a huge portion, sometimes in a lot of cases, a larger portion of people who see your videos that aren't subscribed at all. Sometimes north of 60% of people that watch any given video is people who are not subscribed. And I tend to personally fall on in the same vein that you do. I do think they're often overly desired. I also think that's because YouTube's kind of shifted their focus a little bit. Like subscribers they've been, the button and the number itself on the video you're watching has become increasingly smaller. They've changed the subscription rollout system for videos. They've changed the tab. The home tab may not even have subscriptions on your screen. It's just what you're watching for the day. And I understand why they did it. Maximizes views and maximizes their profits and the like. So I can see why there's somewhat of an attachment to subscribership numbers. But I often think, and this is something I would attribute to you, and I think is a really great strategy, is just being engaged with the community. And I think when you do, going back to previous question, when you do those weekly live streams, the engagement that is there, and frankly also with the I don't know, the Discord thing, that's the kind of engagement that really develops a community that actually could sustain you well beyond YouTube's algorithm failing or something like that. And I think at that point it's like better to do that than to cater to an algorithm that's often changing, and try to cultivate more community. Just if anything, just talking, letting them know you're there. So yeah, I agree with that. Another question. I have a good bit of these. Your videos have a distinct style. And I was curious, what do you think is the benefit of having your videos be this sort of lyrics and art, no face cam, just art and lyrics and the voice? What do you think is like the biggest benefit to having a video like that, as opposed to, say, a performance video or an animated video or something like that? And what's the thought process behind that?
Well, I think there are lots of pros and cons to this. The reason I still do it today is I started that way. We're going to end that way too. We're just going to keep going at this point. And I think, honestly, in a lot of cases, changing the way you format your content can be detrimental. And I don't want to risk that as well. The other part of it, which is honestly the reason I started it, it's a lot of work to record yourself and sync it up with you lip syncing. It's a lot of work.
It can be.
So I've always found it to be more time effective to let's just throw a piece of artwork on there. Let's put some lyrics on there and call it a day. My thoughts on that have changed as I've gotten older. Still a lot of work either way. But I do think that I'm always kind of torn between the idea of showing people, or showing my face specifically, because this just pertains to my content, my face specifically on my covers, because I almost wonder at this point, would that take away from the experience of my videos? I don't know. Would it almost be seen as a distraction because I've had this format for so long? Would putting something new there take away from the experience that I've solidified? I don't know.
That is interesting. That's an interesting thought. I've often modeled some of I moved towards sort of lyric-like videos, although there's a lot of animation going on. And my reasoning for it was, a lot of times, I know for me personally, when I'm doing a video where I'm singing in front of a camera, I'm not just thinking about singing well. I'm thinking about how's the experience of viewing me singing. Like, are you having a good time? Is it interesting? Am I engaging for 3.5 minutes or however long? But when I do a cover that I know is going to be a lyric video or something like that, I'm so much more at ease, and I'm able to be a little bit more relaxed with my singing because I'm thinking a bit more about my voice and delivery. And if I need to like parse something out and put another clip in, I can do that. With doing live takes, it's a bit more obvious whenever I'm like, well, that didn't work, and I hope my mouth shape fits. It's a little bit more. It's just a little bit more difficult to make it work. So I find when I do lyric videos, I'm just more free to sing how I'm wanting to. I also think, and this is maybe, I have no empirical evidence for this. This is just my thinking on it. When I watch lyric videos and they have art behind it, the imagination does a lot of the work for you. So a lot of people will see this art or see the lyrics, and one, they want to sing along, and I think that has a lot to do with lyric video successes. But I think when you have the art piece behind it alongside the voice, people will like make stories up for that character. They'll put their own characters alongside the piece of art. In a way, they get to create their own visions when they're watching it, rather than you giving them the things to see. And I think there's a huge appeal to that, especially with a voice that's really expressive. It's almost like you don't even need the face there. People can imagine what they want to, and that's a great appeal to the video as well. So I think, I just think that style of the lyrics video, I think I'm like, dang, I hadn't thought about the idea that it would take away an appeal from the video by showing one's voice, because I have that struggle of deciding, am I going to be in front of the camera for this one, or am I going to make it a lyric video? And then in the style of, obviously we did a cover recently of Titanium. It's not out yet, but that was one where I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so similar to Anna's videos, and it's going to be all focused on the voice, and it'll be really fun, and there's going to be cool art, and it's going to be so dope. And I think y'all are going to freaking love this. By the way, this is completely aside from the questions. But when I was recording Titanium and you sent me your vocals, I didn't even think to ask, but I'm really glad you sent yours in first, because I followed along with you. And your like pushes and pulls, like when you'd hit a note really softly and then you'd ramp up. I tried to follow in with the harmonies on that, so it sounds really synced up, and it's like, whoa, it's very mystifying to hear it. By the way, you slayed it. It was so good.
I'm so excited to hear it.
No, it's very, very good. Hold on a second. Yeah, right, John? John's in the chat. He said, this is super cool discussion. I'm glad you guys are talking about it, because the whole lyric art video on niche YouTube music is flying under the radar. It's true though, man. To follow off of that though, Anna, do you feel kind of like somewhat of a trailblazer in that regard? You know, not to say you weren't the first person to do, art and lyrics. I mean, people have been doing that for a while, but maybe to the degree of analytical success. I'd be willing to say that that's definitely, you could put yourself up there with like some of the first to do it particularly well and have it analytically perform well.
Sure. I need to give myself more credit. Sure.
Nice. Now you should. Because I think whether, I'm sure people have told you before, but like, I think you're a prime example of it's possible. You don't have to have a lot. You don't have to have a lot of equipment. I mean, I also, how many times have you switched microphones as you've gone through your career? Like three times.
3 times.
What mic are you currently using?
Well, not my phone mic, but it's,
she records all her covers on an iPhone 9.
Could you imagine? But some people do it.
Yeah, some people do.
Oh my goodness. I'm using the Newman TLM 102.
All right, dang, that is the upgrade right there. That's the freaking tippy top of the mountain. What was before that?
Some giant red microphone that I hated, that someone recommended I buy it. It was awful. I don't like it.
Some giant red microphone?
It was an Aventone. I don't know. I was talking to this anonymous audio engineer on the internet at one point. Do with that what you will.
All right, got it. That's a lot of people. You kept it vague. Exactly.
And he told me that that was the same microphone Taylor Swift used, and I went, "Oh wow, I'm set, right? If Taylor Swift can use it, I can use it."
Yep.
But it's ginormous. It also has a really weird XLR cable where it has 9 prongs instead of 3.
Okay.
So, anyways, I didn't realize how inconvenient it was until I needed to start buying things like preamps and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, that is bananas. What in the
really
world?
is.
That's funny. So, okay. And what was prior to that one? Just so we can get the whole lineage of microphones.
Blue Yeti.
Blue Yeti. Let's go.
Baby.
Let's go. Blue Yeti. Freaking USB. Gets the job done.
Yep.
It's fine. You got a little bit of electric whirring. Who gives a flip? No one cares. we can post that out to some degree. It doesn't matter. It'll be fine. Prior to that, it was a Dynex little Best Buy stand. Oh man. That's so true.
You ever seen with the SingStar microphone?
Yes. Yeah. I was Rock Band. I used a Rock Band mic.
Wow.
Yeah. the Rock Band mics. Although I think the SingStar is better because the Rockstar, I have no idea like if this has any meaning at all, but the SingStar mics were heavier than the Rock Bands. Rock Bands felt like paperweight, like just like you could throw them in the sky. But the SingStar mics, so you could like cause some blunt damage with a SingStar mic.
Yeah, you could give a concussion.
Yeah, like if you swung that thing up,
whack.
yeah, you could like spin it a little quick and then just whack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Dang. Also, weird flex. There was a game called Lips on Xbox 360. It was their version of SingStar. It was Microsoft's version of SingStar. My brother and I, we loved that game, and they had wireless microphones. They were really cool. In fact, hold on. Did I put it away? Hold on. No, I literally walk around with this wireless microphone when I'm practicing to perform or a cover. I will use this Lips microphone from 2008 to be my prop. But the weird flex is we got #1 in the world on Karma Chameleon harmonies. I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Incredible. #1 in the world. I don't know if it changed. I don't know where we are on that list. Also on Rock Band The Beatles, we got #3 in the world on Here Comes the Sun with harmonies as well.
Oh my god, I didn't realize I was talking to somebody so accomplished.
Thank you. Yeah, the whole YouTube thing, that is nothing in comparison to besting a video game and being. I should have been in freaking like speed runs or something for Rock Band. Now I'm mad that I didn't do that. Okay, keeping things moving along. Part of my shtick in my channel is I often sing in the original key. So I'll do a song that's more like soprano and alto, and I'll just stay there. But I think, having watched your videos, you're not a stranger to changing things stylistically, but also fundamentally. You know, you'll switch keys sometimes. So how often do you change the key of songs, and when, if ever, is it a good idea to just go for it in the original key, fundamentally changing it be darned?
Well, when I was younger, I did not like the concept of changing keys because I thought that meant I was a quitter, which is not how anything works. Just to clarify,
I feel that
doesn't mean anything. So when I was younger, I constrained myself to to singing things that were really high, which is by no means necessary, but that's where I was at that point in time. Yeah. Earlier this year, specifically, or maybe it was last year, time's an illusion, who knows?
Right.
Some point recently, semi-recently, I decided I no longer want to subscribe to the idea of not having to change keys. Because guess what? It's exhausting. It's tiring. And you might not even get the best performance out of a higher key. So it's high. So what? That doesn't mean anything. That may not translate well to a performance. You might not sound that great. Where if you knock that down boy down a whole step or two, mwah, delicious. Best thing you could ever do. So I have a lot of feelings about this.
Well, I was gonna say, did you talk to John? Because I talked to him late last year, and we had this conversation about changing keys, and he convinced me, like straight up, just wholly convinced me. It's like, because I was actively recording something with him, and he was playing around with the key, and he played around with it enough, and I was singing it back to him, and it just got better the more he changed the keys to fit with what I was trying to do. And I was like, what is this? Like, I mean, obviously I'm singing and I'm not like impressed with myself. I'm not, this isn't at all being like, oh my gosh, I'm so good. It was like, wow, this sounds better. He's just changing the key and it sounds better. Like this is where my voice sits better. I can't believe this. And I was like mind blown. And I've just carried that philosophy since then. And it's a similar timeline as you. I only recently kind of made that decision to not be so married to keeping things in the original key, because that's kind of what I thought it was like impressive, you know, and that's what was the selling point. And I also had this idea. It's not. I had this idea too that it was like familiarity, like sonically. That was my other thought. It's like, oh, well, people are familiar with the key, even if they don't know like theory about it, which I don't either. They'll know it when they hear it. So there's a familiarity because it's in the same key, but that's not true. It's been proven over and over again by many other cover artists that are far more musically inclined, that's just not true. That is something we've self-imposed and is completely unnecessary. But that definitely answers the question really well. Did you have any other thoughts or feelings about it?
Oh my goodness, I did. She left. She left the building. Maybe I'll remember it later. Oh no.
Well, we've done really well. I'm technically, I don't know how long this last question will go because I'm on my last question technically.
Oh wow.
But it's also a very long one. It's like the meal, the dinner or dessert. I don't know. I was trying to think of a thing. But it's so who knows? Maybe it'll spill off into more questions. But you've spoken before about your disdain for hate comments on YouTube. In fact, you've also stated that you spent a great deal of time reading them. I remember, personally, replying to one of your comments in reply to a hate comment years ago. I said something to what you said. I was like, oh man, Anna Pantsu is on fire today, in response to what you said to somebody else.
Oh my goodness.
But I know this has changed over the years. And because in October of last year, and I pinned this tweet because it was, I saved it because it was, I try to be weird.
Coming out with receipts.
No,
No.
It was really good. And in fact, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read what you wrote.
Okay.
As of October 2020, you wrote this in reply to a fellow singer on Twitter who made a post asking for advice in dealing with hate comments. So if you don't mind, I was going to read what you said in its entirety.
I understand now. Yes.
This is Anna speaking, by the way. She said this. I think there's a point you get to where you understand that it really isn't as personal as it seems. In the beginning, it's all very hurtful and seems to be totally targeted at you. But at the same time, as time goes on, there's this moment when you realize you're kind of a pincushion. Unfortunately, there will never be a world where everyone enjoys what you do, which isn't the end of the world, I promise. But as time goes on, you'll start to be able to tell the difference between someone who doesn't like your content to someone who is struggling and potentially taking it out on you. I used to respond with snarky hot takes, but it never ended well and made me look like a total a-hole. When I don't know if that's entirely fair, but anyway, when I started responding to hurtful comments kindly, it was the most eye-opening experience because almost every single time the commenter would apologize for being rude. Not that you should ever let people walk over you if they're just being dicks, or that they even deserve to be heard out. That's totally your decision. My whole point here is that empathy is a good thing. This is a long-winded reply just to say it gets a lot easier. It's never nice to hear people don't like what you've poured your heart and soul into, but knowing how to deal with it is probably one of the most valuable things you can learn. You are doing great, and keep up the hard work. My question is simple, and you can reply to that in any way you want to. But where does that wisdom come from, and how did it develop?
It comes from me having been on the internet for a very long time. I started making covers when I was 13 or 14. I'm 21 now, gonna turn 22 soon. And I've had my fair share of experiences learning all these things. And you see a lot of these younger folks, specifically who you're talking about, I know her quite well. And it's funny because you see all these people going through the same struggles, or at least I do, going through the same struggles of like trying to understand, in this case, why would people be so hateful towards me for something that I'm just trying to show people I'm doing what I love and what I hope to excel at. And I know this all because I did the exact same thing where I would get a comment and it would say like, ha ha ha, you suck, or whatever, right? And I would have a real like snarky hot take to come right back at them, even if my hot snarky take was correct, because I don't think a lot of them are wrong. It doesn't look good. It does not look good. It can make you seem very unapproachable, and it can make you seem very rude and XYZ, a number of other things. So I think that I do very much believe that empathy goes a long way with comments and just people in general. And that now I'm at the point where I've been doing this long enough, I can decipher the difference between like, you suck, being a 13-year-old, and somebody who's just like, not my taste. Because truly, that's what somebody who might not like your content, that's what they'll say over something like super hurtful, or not that you suck is super hurtful, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I do understand. Well, and I thought it was really like, I don't know a lot of people who have that, at least online, that have that perspective. So when I read it, I was like, that's really wise. That's really good advice because I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but like growing up, like I often make this joke when a lot of my friends like to just poke fun at me. I'm like, I'm a good, like, you can rib on me a bit, and I'm like I can take it, like it's fun to do. But I often make the joke reply back. It's like, look, I was forged as an 11-year-old in the forums of adults and just been berated by everybody. You know, when the internet was starting up and forums were everywhere in chat rooms, and people, it was just no holds barred because it was like the Wild West. It was very new for people. So I don't know how it is for the younger generation, and how being online is just commonplace. It's all the time. You're hearing things all the time. They're like a fourth influencer. You have your friends and your family, and then you'd have TV, but now it's like anybody can come in and say what they want at any given time and come across as a friend, or especially when a lot of what we're trying to do online is be important and come across as important, and then someone comes in and takes an ego swipe. I just think that advice that you wrote was like, that's really, really good. If anything, for like self-preservation, to just keep your own sanity straight in line. And a lot of times people who, and I agree with you, because, pardon me, you have people who will write something that's really critical, right? But then you have a little empathy back to it, and then they usually pull back a little bit from realizing that their comment was a bit brash or a little too critical. And half the time, I think it's just probably that's how they were talked to. That's probably how they were raised. That's probably what they know how to talk as. That's probably the only way they know how to talk. It's not a slight against you. That's just how they speak. So oftentimes, empathy can illuminate how people are. And then when you get those nasty a-hole-ish comments from people, they're so much easier to distinguish when you know what they look like, and you don't lump everything in that makes that is like lump everything as a slight against you. So yeah, I think that's really fortunate that and smart that as you went through your time on YouTube and develop, along with it came would you call it perspective or call it thicker skin?
I would call it perspective. It's never been a matter of me. It would never be like I would read a comment and be like, I want to shut down my YouTube channel. Like this really like hurts, and it's like bothers me. It's more so that, I don't know, I just see it differently. And I think I see it more for what it is now. And I think that's a lot easier. Also, just, you're getting older, right? Like, you're not a teenager anymore. I'm not a teenager anymore anyways. And I'm able to sort of see it as somebody who was a teenager. And are you, being a tiny butthole because you're 14 and going through something, and you feel the need to lash out, right? Like, that very much could be it. And extending a hand to somebody like that is it will not only have them pull back a little bit, but it, not that everything's about making yourself look good, but I think empathy is very important and understated, especially as of late.
Empathy is a magnetic quality. It brings people to you, and they're more willing to listen. And it just creates better dialogue. Ultimately, you're never going to look like the smaller man, to use a probably out of date euphemism, to when you choose empathy. In a lot of cases, if anything, people might just want to correct you, but no one's going to go for your throat when you're clearly taking a position of communication. I often use this word when talking about social media online and interactions, and this applies to creators. It applies to just general people who are on social media for fun. You have two tones you can take when you're talking online, even in the most casual of conversations. You are either collaborative with your tone or you're combative with your tone. And people know when they read it. You're not actively thinking, oh, that's really combative or that's really collaborative. You just feel it. You're like, oh, they're looking for fight. They're mad, they're upset. And I think it's often more apt to gun for collaborative if you can. In any conversation you're going to have. Because it's just going to be better for you. It's better for the person. And frankly, you just don't want to get in the ire of your sphere, your influence. Because I don't want anyone I don't have a big influence. I try to keep a low profile online outside of my YouTube channel, but I don't want anyone modeling, my behavior. Like my bad sides of my anger are only known to the closest of circles. Like that's it. No one else sees the angry, bad Caleb. I try to keep that influence away online when I'm here and when I'm doing any of this. So put up your dukes. No, the next portion, by the way, Anna, is a fist fight. So
perfect.
I don't know
Sounds
if I'm gonna hit the button. The stinger's gonna come up and
Sounds good.
We're just gonna fist fight. It's gonna be bad.
Right.
We'll make more money than the Logan Paul fight.
Oh, that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. I've never been tempted to make fake beef with people, but boy, does it sound like fun.
Dang, no. Dude, that's so funny because I had that thought like 2 years ago. I'm like, I'm about to just like call somebody out. I'm gonna take a dump on somebody. Like John, would you be? I feel like John's in the chat now. John, have we like fake beefed on each other yet? Like
you should.
Did I miss Kayla making fake beef with me? No. Literally, it's happening right now, John. Like
yeah.
Can I, John? I have this joke. Hold on. I've made this. Oh boy, I made this joke in private recently though, because I was like, I had a friend of mine ask. By the way, John, a fan, and they were like, "What if John did a cover of the Pooh Bear theme, but in the way he used to sing songs?" And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, what if he like said certain vowels in the way he did back then? So I was like, does he do it like this? And so I'll do it. I'm going to butcher it now. But like the Pooh Bear song, what if he sang it like John back in the day? So it'd be something like this. It's the Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. I gotta be there. So it would sound like John back in the day. It'd be like, Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. I gotta be there. I gotta be. That's how he says E's. That's how he sang his E's a lot. Anyway, we had a great laugh about it. So, John, that's the beef now. It's how you sang your E's. I gotta be. I'm sorry, I died laughing when we were messing around with the joke. You can do whatever you want, John. Whatever joke you want to take out on me, go right for it. Like you can. It's all up for grabs. That was me trying to be Breaking Benjamin. Dang, that's funny.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Who would you start beef with, Anna? Who do you feel comfortable starting beef with enough in your YouTube colleague circle?
Maybe Cammy. I feel like we could get away with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else? See, this is the thing. I'm not super ingrained in the YouTube sphere of people. Like, I have a lot of fun colleagues and peers, but a lot of the time that's kind of just where it stops, not for any particular reason. But I don't know. We could start beef. I could find something about the very kind and courteous Caleb Hyles,
Well, what about Charlie?
Oh, yeah.
CG5. Let's go. Where are you at, Charlie? You in chat?
See, then I feel mean.
No, I'm ready.
Picking on Charlie.
I'm ready to fight. Let's go. Among Us looking cartoon cat creating a little sweet Mormon boy. Like
I know. I said it. What did I said something to him once. I don't cover FNAF songs. I love myself. Or something.
Did you wait? You said that to him?
Yes.
All right. So you don't have to start fake beef. You just write guttural. Did you like add any emoji? Were you just like straight like I like myself? Period.
Sorry, I love myself. I don't do FNAF, which is a lie now. Turns out I've done my first FNAF song. I didn't know it was a FNAF song, but it's a FNAF song.
Was it a collab with Charlie?
No, it wasn't Charlie. It's Do you know Kyle?
Yeah, I know Kyle.
Yeah, it's Kyle.
That'd be so funny though if it was Charlie and he just like hid it from you. Hey, I
Oh
have
my
this really fun cover. Don't pay attention to anything relating to animatronics or children or or like Chuck E. Cheese or anything dark or scary or like the Purple Man. Like just that's all. It's a fun song about another thing that isn't FNAF.
I've yet to play FNAF. I've watched every game theory on it. Everyone.
Every single one?
Every single one. And I don't watch game theory other than for the FNAF. Like, I'm part of the problem. I'm part of Matt Pat's problem, and I know that.
He's fine. He's making making food videos now. He's good. Also,
good for him.
Also, John is starting a beef with me. Yeah, I would start a beef with Caleb about how I told him I will cover anything with you this week, and he made me cover a Bendy song. This is true.
Wow.
John's one like fandom song I think he's done is
You did him dirty.
Is a Bendy song. That's how I got him.
You know what though? You got to even it out. Just do a FNAF song of your own free will, John.
That's true.
That's the power move.
Yeah, that is the power move. Come into the space, assert your dominance,
and leave.
Yeah,
never
leave.
do it again.
Just let everybody know, like, look, I could run this whole thing right now if I wanted to.
But I don't want to.
But I don't want to.
Wow.
Because I love myself. And then you leave. And then you drop your mic.
Sorry.
Anna Pantsu 2019 or whenever you said it. A little dash and a copyright symbol by it.
Speaking of FNAF, I was thinking, great business idea. This is one of my faults. I have lovely business ideas.
Okay.
Zero time or time management. So if I had enough money to buy out the bankrupt Chuck E. Cheese,
Okay.
I would transform it into a FNAF restaurant. And frankly, I do not know why Scott Cawthon, whatever his name, him, I don't know why he hasn't done it. Why don't you use your billions of FNAF dollars, buy the Chuck E. Cheese franchise, turn it into Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria? Come on.
That's a lot of, I imagine it's like a crazy amount of time and effort. But I also think it would make a obscene amount of money. It would probably renew interest in like places like Chuck E. Cheese. You know,
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. I like that idea. It could work. Also,
Scott Cawthon, hit me up.
not on the list of questions because we worked our way through all of them. Is there like do you intend to keep doing YouTube in this for like as long as you're able? Like theoretically into like the like senior years? Like how long does this go?
I believe that there's sort of I think it has to do with the algorithm, the ever unyielding algorithm, that there is sort of a point where everybody kind of ages out of it, whether it's because the content you're doing just like isn't relevant, or maybe YouTube's like, you've been here too long, get out, we're not going to show any of your videos anymore, bye. I don't know. It could be, but I would like, my goal is to not be posting on YouTube by 30. That's
not be posting.
That's my aim. Maybe not posting, but more like I want to transition to other things. Because I feel like I've definitely anchored down what I have going now, and from here I just want to start doing other things. I have a lot of it revolves around D&D, which
I've seen.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm a lot though, to be fair. It's a lot of D&D, and I have a bunch of ideas and just other things that I would like to do. So hopefully YouTube will always kind of just be this vessel that's there, but I would like to transition. You know, I want to do more voice acting. I'd love to actually get into that and do more of it full time, because God, I love doing that stuff. It's like my favorite stuff in the whole world. And maybe transition into that more full time and always kind of have YouTube there, but maybe not have it be my main thing forever. Because I also don't think this is sustainable for anybody.
Okay, so that's another interesting question. By the way, we'll wrap up by like, I don't plan on keep you for like the entire night. But there's other questions that come up with that. So it's interesting you say that. So do you think that, because I think, I don't know how many people have that mentality, but I'm kind of with you on it. Like this ingrained thought, like, well, this isn't sustainable. Because I kept saying that for years, and to some degree still believe that there's an end. Like it's not like I work a job that I think is this necessary, always going to be needed, no one's competing for this position kind of job. So I often will, imagine that there's an end point to this. Like, when you say like you transition to maybe more voice acting or work on D&D, is that going to be, will there be a point where you just like leave YouTube, or will YouTube do it for you?
This is the thing. I don't know, but I do know that when it does get to that point where I'm sustained and happy in another field, and maybe it's an internal thing of like, I feel like it's time to just let it die or whatever, whatever it may be, or slowly pander my focus to other things and maybe upload less. Mm-hmm. All I know is I want to do it on my own terms. Mm-hmm. So if it's coming to the point where like, and we talked about this earlier, man, any other fellow content creators in here, don't you love the unrelenting feeling that you're going to become irrelevant and it's all going to go away? I love that feeling.
Yep.
Love it. It's great. So all I know is I've made a promise to myself that like, if I feel that sort of end is coming of, things aren't doing so great, whatever, at that point, I would like to make the decision to go, I'm going to stop making videos. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and continue on with everything else.
Oh, I'm just imagining that post, because John and I had that conversation years ago where it's like, we're going to make that video. Like that video is going to happen, where it's like the bye guys video. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I feel like, because think about music artists too, like their bands disband often. They have a final album that they didn't know was going to be their final album, or maybe they did know it was their final album, and they call it quits, and then they fade into, anonymity for the rest of their life, or they just collect the royalties and retire. So like, how do we operate? Because most people, when they have a traditional job, they know, well, I retire when I'm 65 or something like that, and I have enough built up in my 401k, and I quit, and I'm done. But here it's like, I might retire in a week. I don't know what's gonna like. We'll see what happens. Did I even have a career? Is that a real thing? Can I even call it that? Does it have enough importance to actually say, yeah, career? I also see a lot of people in the chat right now that are not happy about the thought of you.
I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. This isn't me saying that I'm quitting anytime soon, folks. It's just it's thoughts of the future, right? Like, hopefully, honestly, if everything allows me, I will do this for as long as I feel I am mentally stable, emotionally stable.
There's a lot of things that have to stay stable here. Like, you're holding it all with like one hand, just like they're all stacked on top of each other. They're different shapes and sizes. There's a circle in the middle, there's a sphere in the middle. You're like, why the heck is that there? I don't know how to keep this all balanced. Yeah, no, I don't think not to stress you out. I think they're just like, oh man, that'd be really sad. Like if she was just freaking gone at the end of the week.
No, God, I desperately hope not anytime soon. And if you want to help make sure that it's not anytime soon, please watch my videos and please stream my music.
There you go, man. It can keep going. And that's an even weirder thought, is like with this career too and how it is, I have to fight against the sense of like arriving, right? So it's like I have to fight against thinking like, oh, there's another thing ahead. Like I got to do another thing. There's always going to be somebody ahead of me. It's like you're chasing a tail. Like it's never, there's no like, oh, I made it. I'm where I need to be.
Well, I think it depends on your outlook on it, right? Because obviously it's a competitive field and a competitive market, because essentially you're fighting for a very small portion of a niche's view. Yeah, that's what YouTube is. So and even if you do everything right, like the metadata is right, the thumbnails right, all of it, there's still no guarantee. But I think this is obviously easier said than done, but I like beat it out of myself in 2020 to just get myself out of the mindset. Life's been better since. But just getting it out of your mind that it's even a competition, right? Because it's not like who are you fighting against? Like, to get a view, but at the end of the day, you're still the one that's making content, which is really, even if it's a cover, it's still its own individual thing, right?
Yeah.
No one else sounds exactly like you. No one else is going to sing that line exactly like you.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that people keep returning to the content that you make. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I know in the career we have, it's, it straddles this line between job and art, and it makes money and it is art. So when we go, so it's exactly what you just said. You're like having to beat it out. It's like, it's not a competition. You're not against people. You're not trying to beat anybody out, but that's such a traditional mindset when you think about jobs and careers. And, I'm going to be a supervisor. I'm going to be a manager. I'm going to be the assistant regional manager, whatever the heck, you're trying to move up a ladder and reach a position, and actively when you're doing those things, there is a competitive nature. I mean, when you go to a traditional job interview, you sit in the dang room with the other people who are gunning for the same job. So it's very difficult to you quite literally use the phrase beat it out of you to break away from that competitive mindset in even a job like this where it's like art, and arguably it can be a little bit more painful because it is something so personal as art. So whenever it's not getting the attention you want, or you're doing the metadata, like you said, you can do everything frickin' right and it still isn't working, then you're left with, well, I guess I'm losing and I guess I'm not good enough, but I also guess my art's not good enough, or what I'm doing is not good enough. And I think it just stacks upon itself in terms of ways in which you can fall into a really detrimental mindset about this job, this career.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think, because I've talked to other cover artists about this, how there's that whole trope of, starving artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, because I know this is how I feel sometimes, do you feel like your art or your creations are less valuable because you've suffered less as a quote unquote starving artist?
Oh, wow. What ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I hadn't pondered that before. Like, are they less because I haven't suffered?
Do you feel like they are anyway? Because I mean, obviously they're not, but
yeah. I don't think I've often felt like I was they're any less. I actually don't think they're. I don't know if I've had that particular thought run through my head before. If the work is less meaningful because I didn't like starving artist my way through it. I had a cover go well, and then I kept putting out covers, and got more of an audience, and then eventually found ways to create a revenue stream out of what I was doing, all while I was working sports production. So I was still sustained. But then after that, once the ball started rolling, it was like, okay, this is making me enough money. I'm not going to do sports production. So, I mean, truthfully, from my perspective, I didn't have to, grind it out. I wasn't going to the clubs or performing at nightclubs, or having to rush marketing or doing all these different things and starving artists my way into where I am. If anything, I would feel like maybe the work sometimes is a little bit more inherently less because it's a cover, because it's not my original idea. And so I'm constantly living in derivatives, which is why I'm trying to do.
That's an own hell of its own. I know.
Yeah. That's a whole nother ball of wax. And then when you do release an original, it's like, you're just living like, well, this isn't going to do near as well as the covers, and it. And I'm not even mad about it, because that's my audience. Is here for covers, not for my original music. No fault of their own. If you turn on HDTV at night because you just want to watch House Hunters, and all of a sudden there's freaking sports highlights, you're going to be like, this is not the channel I am watching. I wanted to see the really expensive houses. But that's interesting. I hadn't thought about the feeling like you're not starving artists. Where'd that come from? Like, where'd that thought for you come from?
That comes from, I've always done music in a very like academic sense. So I always did it in school. It's always been a lot of theory. And then I went to university for jazz, which is, to be honest, it's like all covers. right?
Okay.
It's all jazz is. It's a bunch
All right.
of standards and
Nice.
it's different takes on it. So a shocker. It's really that generic YouTube story. I dropped out and I started
All
doing
right.
YouTube full time.
There you go. Were you first year, second year, third year?
A semester in.
A semester in?
Semester
You waited no freaking time.
Nope. I got a semester in, very quickly realized, wow, I hate that.
Wow, I hate this. Left.
Wow, I hate this. Of no fault of anyone, just wow, I hate this. And I left. And at that point I'd already had, like, I'd been doing YouTube in my teen years, and I'm like, you know what? I have like 6 months to kill until I want to apply somewhere else. Let's just do it full time and see what happens.
Wow.
Never went back.
Wow.
We've been doing it since. But in that in that university and in that program, there was very much this idea perpetuated of, if you do not starve, if you do not pay your dues, it is almost like paying your dues. If you do not check these certain boxes of, you know, you got to perform at all these clubs, and you have to be living in a really gross apartment, and you have to tick all these boxes, you know, you're not really an artist.
Really? Like that was perpetuated? Like, were professors saying that? Was that just people or students?
It wasn't exactly like that. It wasn't really, you know, you have to do this or it's not the same. But there would be a sort of attitude towards certain performers or certain artists who did have an easier route to fame or to success.
And then those who were had were tracking through the mud and stuff like that, they were kind of like romanticized. Like, look what they freaking did. Like they came up from, you know, they had to go to every place they could and perform at every single club, and they were making no money for 5 years, and then they met this one agent guy and then they blew up or something like that. So
very similar.
And then if it was like, oh, this person just had a lot of money and had influence, and then they got a career, and now look at them, you know, woohoo, good job, you know, like, I can see that being I hadn't been surrounded with that thought before, but I imagine if that's just like a feeling and a vibe that, frankly, enough to make you quite literally like want to leave a semester in, like, dang, do you like school? Did you like school?
I was and still am very good at specific things.
Okay.
And only those specific things.
All right.
So, with that, it wasn't even like my grades were terrible or anything like that. I was there, and there were certain aspects I really liked. Like, I really loved having the one-on-one singing lessons with a professor where we would go into the details of a song and really figure out, okay, this is why this sounds this way and this is what you can do to fix it.
Was that in high
Love
school?
that kind of stuff. No, this is university.
Oh, university.
Yeah.
For the one semester.
That was what?
For the one semester.
Yeah, for the one semester, because I was a vocal major.
Okay.
Thank God. But yeah, I really loved that kind of thing. And then it was always mandatory that you would take certain classes. So there was like a composition class. Hated composition. Passion. And there were just a lot of other little things that I very much wasn't into, because I'm very all or nothing, which sucks. And I wish I was not that way, but I am built this way and I can't turn it off for whatever reason. So I just,
Well, how'd you get through like middle school and high school then? Because you're being forced to take, you know, classes you don't want to take.
Oh, this is a great question, Caleb. Okay, so middle school was fine.
All right.
High school was weird. I think a lot of people could relate to that. Yeah. So it was very all or nothing. I'm very black and white and pretty much anything I'm quote unquote good at. So I was always really good. I'm really good at English, really like history, and basically any creative subject. So art, music, fine. Everything else, terrible.
All right.
Terrible.
And the electives too. They were I don't know how it was where you are, but like, were they electives?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like,
I was really good at the electives.
Did they weigh them the same? Because they didn't weigh them the same where I'm from.
They do weigh them the same. Yeah. It's just a credit thing and a grade. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been, I'm mad. Like, dude, I hadn't even thought about that in years, that in my school program where I grew up in Alabama, they weighted the electives less. They actually meant less. They did not bring your grade up in the same way. So like oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, having like epiphanies. Okay, so, but you had those weighted. So I'm assuming then your creative classes brought up your general like score, so to speak.
Yes. So it was like really, really bad at math, really, really bad at science. Was okay at biology for some reason, but I think that's it. Biology reminds me a lot of English in a way. It's a lot of paragraphs about how things work and like fitting them together. And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Everything else out the window. Anything with numbers gone. So we had three different math classes that you could choose from. There was called Math Essentials, which was like, you really, really, really struggle with math. There was Math at Work. And then there was one, which is just like academic math. And then you could take the special, like, you're really smart math. I was in Math at Work.
You're really smart math. And that's what they called it on the papers too. It's real funny. I don't know why they're so informal with it. You're really smart math. Like, oh.
But so I was in Math at Work, struggled through that, struggled through science. However, on my transcripts, on my high school transcripts, I have a 103 in art class.
All right. Nice.
And that's it. Thankfully the program I was going into, they accepted all these electives as like prereqs for the course I was going into.
Shoot,
so I went in with like a really high average, which was great.
No,
but
that's really fortunate.
Yeah.
Dang. So okay. Well, clearly you made it through it. And I don't know from where you are, like what their like you fail grade is, you know, because like obviously you didn't like just F-bomb every other class other than artistic. You must have made some level of passing grade.
Oh yeah, it was terrible, but well, no, it was terrible, but I didn't fail.
I didn't fail. Yeah, I often felt a lot for me was school was a lot of survival, not necessarily thriving. And I don't know if anyone in chat also feels like that, or currently, if you're in high school, just
it gets
surviving.
better.
It does. Trust me, it gets a lot better. Whether you go to college or not, like it's after high school, it's just a lot better. I have never looked back, man. I have not missed school, anything. Oh man, dude, I hadn't even thought about that. That like art was in my schooling growing up. Quite literally, electives did not weigh the same. And
that's crazy.
I've just had that like,
man.
Yeah, just ingrained. That's also Alabama, and I could go on about Alabama for a long time. But where I come from in Montgomery, Alabama, we have like categorically one of the worst public school systems in the nation as a county. And I had good teachers. That doesn't say I didn't have good teachers, but stuff like that. And it might be, Florida might do that, Arkansas, Georgia, any of the southeastern states. But that kind of stuff, man, where it's like you just intrinsically value it less. It means less. It means less to the school system. They don't care as much. Clearly, it means less because otherwise it'd be weighted the same. It wouldn't matter. But that was their thinking, though, was that you could take the elective classes and then you could fudge your way through the other classes, and then the Montgomery Public School System saw the artistic classes and electives as a way out of doing the other classes well. It was a scapegoat. They quite literally would just categorize it. I think that's how they thought it was, just like, oh, well, they're just going to get in these elective classes like art, and they're going to make hundreds because it's art, and they're going to mean less, or like computer application, and they're going to make hundreds, and it's going to make up for their D's in math, and they're not going to try in math. So this needs to weigh less so it doesn't affect the grade as much. I think that's what they thought. I think that had to be it. I can't think of any other way.
I guess, but it's also... some kids are just like not inclined for certain subjects, and obviously you should try, but at the same time, sometimes it just doesn't work like that. That's so messed up. Goodness.
Yeah, someone in the chat said we went to Mississippi and they didn't have electives way differently. Okay, so it's just my just my state.
You're so lucky.
Yeah, if you're in Mississippi, then you're deep in the South. So yeah, if they didn't do it there, then it's just me, and that's why it was bad. But But yeah, I don't know why they thought of it that way. Because yeah, I wasn't a math. When you said the 3 math classes, what was it? What was Math at Work, and then what was the previous one?
Okay, so I don't want to say the lowest, but like I don't know how you scale it. It's just like the people who might need the most help with math. So that's
Yeah.
math essentials. Math at work is like, you're still not the best at math, but it's a little bit harder. We did a lot about taxes, which has surprisingly very much helped me.
Oh my gosh. You know how many people in the States are like clamoring for freaking like tax classes when they were growing up?
I know.
We
That's
desperately want those.
We
my gosh.
We didn't get a ton either. Like, don't get me wrong, but it was more practical math. So it would be things like taxes, and in Canada we have this thing called it's like a goods and harmonized sales taxes, and we'd have to figure out that kind of stuff. And anyway, after that there's academic, and then there was IB math, which is IB is International Baccalaureates, and it's this fancy thing that you can take where the curriculum's the same all over the world, and when you have to hand in a project or do an exam, you mail the exam to this one place where they're graded by the same people.
What? What in the baccalaureate?
International Baccalaureates.
What the frick does
IB.
baccalaureate mean?
I don't know.
Laureate? I'm gonna spell it wrong.
I was in IB music, and that's it. That's it.
I typed in baccalaureate and it thinks I want to know about the Bachelorette episode. It doesn't know. It has no clue what this is. Google's like, what are you trying to type? Like,
it's a neat thing.
Are you sure you don't want reality TV? Like, no, I want to know whatever the heck this is.
I know.
Wow, that's really cool.
Crazy.
So there was something for singing too, then.
Yeah, I was lucky in that sense. It's more just like music stuff, but that was really cool. It was like so in IB, my brother's doing it right now, so this is fun because I had to tell him about this. In IB, you have this thing called an MI, which is a musical investigation, and then you had to do a musical performance. So performance is whatever, you had to meet a certain amount of requirements, but then the musical investigation, you had to compare and contrast in an essay, kind of an essay, but do it in a creative way. It was weird. You had to compare and contrast two completely different musical pieces from two different regions and two different time periods.
Whoa.
But they had to be so like, I'm trying to think. My brother's doing one right now on, it's a comparison between the Tetris theme and a musical song.
Oh, right. That's interesting. Fascinating.
So, I mean, you can do a ton, and that was something I really liked. That was really cool, I thought.
That is really cool. That's like a neat exercise.
Yeah.
Dang. That's like makes it fun. It sounds hard. It sounds like it. Not hard's the wrong word. It sounds challenging. Yeah, there you go. It was challenging, but engaging in every possible way that music can be. And I think that's obviously the point. But man, to the math thing, that just sounds like a dream, because I had to, in my high school, kind of climb up a ladder. There was no like staying put. If you failed, then you were held back. So like if in high school, if you were in 9th grade and if you failed any class, you were held back. It was like freaking do or die. You fail science, English, like if you fail one of them, you're staying. So it was, but we had, I had to take algebra, pre-algebra, and then algebra 1, and then geometry, and then trig, and then it was pre-cal. And there were higher level maths. There were higher level maths, but there were no lower level maths. You could only go up. So I inadvertently took a pre-cal for my senior year and just gritted my teeth, just like literally was clinging on to a high D to try and desperately help my other courses to bring it up, because I was like, I'm not passing this class. There's going to be way too much time. I was going to have to spend hours. I was beyond hours, like full evenings trying to understand pre-cal, because my brain doesn't process it in the same way, and nor did any of the teachers necessarily know how to do it. And frankly, they have other things they're doing too, and the amount of time it would take to me. I had so many parent-teacher conferences with math teachers throughout my years. It was hilarious. I was the most I don't think I was the most. I was one of the more frustrating students to deal with, because my brain worked in such a way, and maybe people in the chat can recognize in math, I'm asking a lot of questions that maybe seem irrelevant to a teacher, but to me, it helped me understand what was going on. And in fact, to the point where I had a teacher in 6th grade who would, in the most Southern charm way, she would be like, Lord Caleb, if you ask another question that don't make no sense, I'm going to lose it. Now, it was like funny, I'm kind of laughing at it in myself, but I look back and I'm like, that's not really good etiquette. And it's sort of like it grades this little seed of like guilt and for like being wanting to know certain things. And if anything, I think maybe in hindsight, I think it maybe challenged her in a way that made her uncomfortable. Because she didn't have the answer to the question. Half the time she was like, that doesn't make any sense, or that doesn't really relate. That doesn't relate to what we're talking about, Caleb. And I was like, okay, well, I'm lost. I'm going to stay here lost. But man, math essentials, that had been me 9th to 12th. Just every year, retaking it over and over again. And then I do math at work. And then
the amazing part, though, is the last math class I've ever taken was first semester, 11th grade. And then the rest of high school, I didn't have to take one.
Wait, hold on. First semester. So you didn't have to take math in the spring? Or
no. Our it was just there were certain requirements for graduation, and it was like you just had to check a box. So it would be like you have to take this math class and this math class or whatever. But because I wasn't enrolled in academic, I didn't need a 12th grade to graduate.
Enrolled in academic? What were you enrolled in?
Math at work.
Okay. Wow, that.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy how different everything is.
I just want better. I want better for this generation. Everybody in the chat who is still a teenager and going through school, I want better for you so badly. I want better for you. Whatever Anna had, I want that for you too, because that just sounds like awesome and so much less stress and is catered to your needs and doesn't make you feel dumb, doesn't make you feel like you're falling behind or you're less than because you can't keep up or you're failing because you can't keep up. That was the big feeling. Is just trying not to feel like you're failing or like you're disappointing or you're isolated and separated in a different group of the people who are dumb and can't aren't as smart as these other ones. So it's nothing to disparage anybody who's like super good at math either, but it was.
Screw you guys. Screw you guys.
Yeah, they're like, don't worry, we're super smart. We don't care. You can say whatever you want. We're smart. I'm not bothered. My brother was good at math, though. He was super good. So I was around somebody who just didn't have to try. Their brain just got it. They're like, yeah, easy. Like here at one time, I just regurgitate it. But I don't want to take up any more of your time. This has been lovely. I have enjoyed this immensely. I'd like to think everyone in chat enjoyed it too. Last thing I asked Cammys before and I asked you, is there any projects going on, anything you're currently doing, anything in the pipeline that you want to talk about or promote? Socials, all that other YouTube business that we say to promote?
I have fun things, but I can't talk about them. But
nice.
You can find me on YouTube. My name is Anna. Sometimes Anna Pantsu.
Who is Anna Pantsu, by the way?
I don't know.
Who is Anna? Can I get that? Can I get a who is Anna Pantsu in the chat? Can we figure that out?
Who is?
We need to figure that out
Anna
right
Pantsu.
now.
I don't know. We can go into a full identity crisis. We go right in.
Unfiltered, just like
imposter syndrome, all of it. We'll just go right in. This isn't a live stream. This is a therapy session.
I try to have my questions just be like super light, kind of like, oh, let's dig a little deeper. And then it's like, Anna's like, no, imposter syndrome. That's what I want to talk about.
Let's go.
I want to talk about that feels.
But yeah, that's the next.
Yeah, that's the next Unfiltered.
That's the next one.
And frankly, I've had this idea of like for maybe topics like that, bringing on an extra person too. So it's like a three-pronged attack into getting lots of different perspectives. I don't want to necessarily, I love this format. I love this one-on-one kind of Q&A, a very conversational format. But I do think there's something to like getting three people and having that bouncing ideas off of each other. But man, this has been really, really enjoyable. So it's all right. Everything you might want to, not everything, but you have a lot you want to talk about, but you can't talk about. So
yes,
like maybe next cover.
What a good question, Caleb. You mean you don't pre-planned uploads?
Yeah, yeah. Like don't you have like a schedule and what's coming up next?
No,
no. All right, that should have been a question. What's your process?
bad, disorganized.
There is no actual
No.
schedules. That's fine. It's fine. We're winging it. We don't even really consider this a career. So like, why would I care about
Exactly.
making this like look professional? You think I care? I don't care.
Oh, Mister, I have things pre-uploaded. I just need to hit the button.
I
What's
just need to
that
hit the
like?
button. Hey, look, it's only 4 videos deep. That's all I got.
Only 4.
Only 4 videos deep.
4.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Now I'm feeling better about myself. I'm like, dang, I'm doing better than I thought. Because I'm to see every time I go over to like John's and whatnot, he has like 1,000 sticky notes everywhere.
I don't think John's human. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's human. I think he's an alien in a human body. I've yet to believe otherwise. Not because he's weird, just because he seems like a superhuman, and I just don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Yeah, well, that and Amanda Lee too. Like her schedule and everything planned out. It's like I don't know how people like my brain can't do that. I will shut down. Like I cannot be juggling 20 things every day, even if I write them down, because that was something my wife Kara was like, you really should keep a schedule, it'll really help. And I was like, no, I wake up every day and I make decisions then. And then I started doing a schedule and I was like, wow, this is way better. But like if it's too much though, I still feel I'm like there's not enough sticky notes in the world to make me not feel overwhelmed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so no next cover then.
Yeah, who knows? Something will be up Saturday, probably. No.
I feel like that thing you talked about earlier of like I might just disappear. I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe
Eventually,
that's my next video.
Is it
Who
happening?
knows? Could be. Hope not. But
Is
maybe.
it another Barbie? How many more Barbie?
No.
How deep is the Barbie the catalog? What's the discography for Barbie?
Ooh, there's a lot. I think I don't have anything on the roster currently for Barbie, but like it could happen. You know, who's to say? Oh wait, no, I do know what's coming up next week. It's Give It Up from Victorious featuring Oreo. That's what's coming next week.
Like the Disney show?
Yeah. No. The Give It
The
Up.
Nickelodeon?
You can't win. That one. Yeah.
See, I know it's going to do gangbusters. I know it's going to do. I know it is. And there's going to be this audience that just comes out of the woodworks that I've never heard of. And they're going to be like freaking like slamming to your Victorious cover. I'm like, dang, I just never would have thought of it.
You know what the trick is? And it could just be because not in a way where it's like you're an old man, Caleb. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. But
I don't. I'm so TikTok doesn't make sense. I've lost.
There's something about channeling into the things that you really liked as a middle schooler / early high school years. Channeling into that seems to be doing wonders.
Okay. All right. Well, I did try to upload and maybe it's too accurate. I tried to do like a Nightcore cover of that Rockefeller Street song, the Para Para dance, you know, the thing. I did that and I tried to like make it, I think I did it. This is just to pat myself on the back. I think I did it too well because I literally had art made that is a recreation of myself in that like very like 12-year-old Nightcore video of the Rockefeller Street. And I just recreated myself as like the Fox girl and then had another Fox girl. I uploaded the video in the same like 4:3 format. I did no editing to the video at all. There's no lyrics. It's just like a straight re-upload of the same video. Just I'm singing instead. And I had the instrumental made at Nightcore speed, so it's higher quality, but then purposely had it compressed into like MP3 format. So it was like a real homage to 12 years ago. Well,
you really go above and beyond, man.
But it did too well because it didn't analytically perform too well because I think it was like so similar. The system was like, we already have this. This is not. I know. No one wants this. Like I named the video the same too. I just the only thing was like covered by Caleb Hyles.
Have you done Bohemian Rhapsody?
Okay, I have not done Bohemian Rhapsody. It's sitting literally on a sticky note on my screen like Bohemian Rhapsody, and it says with best singers. Because I'm going to do it with people. I'm not going to like do it on my own. There's just no way. But that's part of the reason I was getting people to work on harmonies and help me find those because songs like Bohemian Rhapsody become accessible. Songs like Bohemian Rhapsody become these gargantuan massive projects. But when you have people who are really knowledgeable about composition and harmonies, then it's something I can actually like, I can scale that mountain if I have a team. So I want to do it. I'm gonna have people do it, and two, it's just finding a great instrumental and then finding those harmonies and knowing how to make it to where when I message somebody and say, hey, you want to be a part of this cover, I have everything I need to give them. I have everything. I have the lyrics. I have it highlighted. I have their part ready here. It's already been sung for them. Like they just have to follow the guide. No problem. Super easy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
I think that prep work probably eats up more time than I want to think about.
I would imagine so, and especially with a lot of your covers where there's so much going on at any given time in the background, either harmonies or layering, just like insane. I was listening to your How Bad Can I Be cover, and I was like, there's a frick ton going on in here, especially near the end with the Save the Trees and all that business. Like in the background, I was like, that is so much. There's like at least 4 parts going on. And that's not even including just the melody and then the finding, how long did it take to find those parts? Like, because I know those weren't in the, maybe they were, but like, I was just like, dang, that's a lot of freaking effort.
Yeah.
But it adds to the whole. It adds to the whole.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you said that, because half the time when I'm sitting here at God knows what hour trying to figure out what these stupid background parts are, because half the time you can't hear what it's saying.
Yep.
I ask myself, is this worth it?
Is anyone going to notice? Are they going to notice?
I hope so. God, I hope so.
That's where like the line for me of like, is this going to hurt the views if I don't put this like extra harmony in there? Is it? And I'm trying to get to where I'm a bit more like, strive for excellence, Caleb. Do it because it's good and it sounds better, not because it might not make a difference in terms of how the cover performs. Do it because it's good. It sounds good, and it sounds good, and it's a good thing to have. So you're answering to yourself, and do it because it's the right thing to do. I'm trying to do that. Okay, well, we keep branching off into things.
I'm gonna
let you go have an evening. I'm gonna let you go like work on another cover and do background vocals for hours and hours.
Yep.
But anyways, I'm not going to end the stream quite yet, but I will end the phone call with you or end the Discord call. But thank you so much, Anna, for agreeing to do this and sitting down with me and spending a couple hours and answering all these questions. And thanks everybody for being here. And for anybody who's a fan of Anna or hasn't seen Anna's work, Anna Pantsu, just look it up on YouTube. There's something there for you. And in fact, depending on how deep your fandoms go, there's probably something extremely niche for you on her channel as well. But thank you very much, Anna. This was wonderful, and keep up the amazing work. And I guess we'll be talking pretty soon, maybe about conventions when they all start going up and running again.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I had such a good time. Love doing this kind of thing. It was an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, you have a good rest of your evening, Anna, and we will talk again soon.
Thanks, you too.
All
Bye.
right, peace out. Well, that was dope, everybody. That was so much fun. Oh my goodness. Anna Pantsu, everybody. Anna Pantsu with the wonderful, wonderful Q&A. Super, super fun. Let me hop over to a different screen here than the... Or actually, I'll close this. Oh, whoa, that is just gone. That was the wrong button. I hope y'all had a great time. This was... I've loved doing Unfiltered. I love doing this. And I love doing the research on the questions and finding... learning a good bit about the creator just by doing some research. And there's always so many interesting things like and I remember, I think I said this, I think, to Anna before we got into the stream, but I would take notice that Anna was like, had like a Spitfire, a bit of a flamethrower when people would say mean things to her on her videos, completely unnecessary. But it never bothered me. I was just like, oh, well, she does not take anyone's crap. So whenever I saw that comment that she wrote, like this sort of like 180 on it, I was like, that's really curious. I wonder where that comes from. So it's just really neat getting to find out about people. And I hope that y'all are having a great time learning about Anna and learning about Cammie and frankly, whomever else comes up. And if you've never heard of them, I hope it's just an interesting conversation nonetheless. But thanks for coming out, everybody. Next time I do a Caleb Hyles show, I will do a bit more of the segments. I'll have my coverage, encouraging review, a practice room, what other things do I have? The Ask Me Anything by request. Like I'll sing some music for y'all. So the Caleb Hyles show next time I do this, and it won't be this long of a hiatus again, I promise. It's not going to be another 2-month long hiatus. I really, really love doing this show, and yeah, I think I'm talking in circles at this point. But all that is to say, usually I'd go and stream on Twitch, but I'm actually a little busy tonight. I have some things I'm having to take care of. And thanks, shout out to the mods in the chat. Shout out to Cammie. Shout out to Ryan. I saw John there for a bit. Thank you guys so much for keeping up with the chat and keeping it safe, keeping it friendly. And John, thanks for playing along. John, I love you, man. I give you grief, but you're a really freaking great sport about it. I don't think I get to give many other people grief, so I usually am the one taking it. So that's nice. Oh yeah, I see people requesting people to do Unfiltered with interviews. I am totally fine to do that. There's a lot of people I'd love to do this with. Jonathan, take a dump on me. But I think tonight I won't be on. I won't hop over to Twitch. But I will say, if you want to go to my Twitch channel where I do stream, and I might be streaming sometime this week, go to twitch.tv/Caleb Hyles Music. Yep, Caleb Hyles Music. Just type that into Twitch and you'll find my channel, no problem. But I guess I need to end the stream, huh? It's weird. I've been talking and listening for so long that I don't know what to do. The room's grown dark around me. It's so quiet in here now. All I hear is the ticking of my clock. Huh. Now I'm freaking myself out. All right, everybody. Y'all be kind to one another, okay? Video came up today. We did if you hadn't seen it yet, go ahead and go watch it. I did a cover of I'm Still Standing by Elton John from the movie Sing. Go check that one out. And let's see here. Is this going to work? Well, it's not stream starting soon because it's technically gone. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Much love to Anna for the stream. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being so interactive. And I guess I'll see all y'all next time. Much love. Peace out, guys.